Hello, everyone. We are finished with race one at the 50th anniversary of the Long Beach Grand Prix. We're here with the winner, Mad Max Gordon. Let's say that, right? And Max, man, we were talking about this yesterday with Ari and Matt Brabham about, basically the keys to victory. And from looking at the race and for being in the race with you, you actually did what everyone's plan was. You kept it clean. You methodically worked your way through the pack. So tell us how it unfolded with you, because obviously, where you were at the first caution and the second caution, and how you picked your spots to, come through the field and get. I think it's like your fifth or sixth win in only your fourth, Stadium Super Truck season. So how did that work?
Yeah, it's been a good race, and we had a good season last year. But we came in this year just coming in thinking clean and come on a clean sheet. And we came into this race, and I was planning on winning qualifying, but just not there. It's definitely way different when you're qualifying and you're racing. When you're qualifying, there's no one around you. You don't know which lines to take. You don't know where to step out. So you got to kind of be a scientist out there and figure out which line's going to be fastest. And mine wasn't the fastest. Brabham was fastest by a second. And I think he got fourth today. So it just depends on where you're at on the racetrack and where you're at in the caution. So coming into the first caution, I wanted to pass. I wanted to be in third on the first caution, and I was in fourth. So I was like, okay, well, we're not too far off. And getting to those, first six guys or whatever it was definitely a battle. They did not want to get out of the way, that's for sure. And you got to get a little aggressive out there and kind of open up your own hole out there and kind of just push your way through. And no, it was a good race. And then coming into the second caution, I think I was second or third. And I think I was second because I was battling with Miles, and then we were getting after it there. And it was a dogfight. We were going back and forth, rubbing, banging, bumping. I think we went back and forth 6 times, and it was just a gnarly race. And I used my truck up a little too much and didn't save my truck there because I was trying to get through the people. And, I came into turn 1 on like the 8th lap or something, 7th lap, and I had no brakes, went to the floor, and I just grabbed a handful of the rear brake and just backed it in, hit the tires, and Miles was able to get back by me, and then he brake checked me in the flowers. I was expecting it because I did it to him coming out of turn 12, and he did it back to me, and it was a good race. We just were door banging and bumping, and we were normally you're braking at 500 right at the end of the rumble strips, and me and Miles are running 300. He was on my bumper just wide open pushing me, trying to get me to blow that corner, and I would be on the brakes as he's pushing, and he would use me as his brakes, so he was able to save his truck a little bit more than me. He had a little better truck towards the last lap there because he was able to use me as his braking. But no, it was definitely an awesome race.
So how amazing is this for all the viewers out there? So I asked him one question, and it was a multi-series question. He's 16 years old. He's able to recall every single facet of the race, like instant recall. So, and that comes with obviously the pedigree that he is, but he's such an accomplished, he's 16, but he has more laps than most men doing this sport, and the intelligence he has in his racecraft to be able to say, okay, here's what I did, here's what my competitors were doing, here's how I worked through the field. It's just mind-blowing, Max. And you know how I feel about you and your father, and I think you guys are the greatest in the world. And so tell me, when you were coming through the field, did it get a little, dicey? And, was anyone, overly aggressive with you where, tomorrow you're going to be like, I'm going to remember that? Or was it, a little bit aggressive but, kind of rubbings or racing type of deal?
No, there was no one that was really blocking or anything. There's no one that I need to be pushing on tomorrow. It's just do the same thing tomorrow. Push on everyone and get through the field. And I landed on Cole Potts coming into that, I don't know, turn 8, turn 9 jump
really?
Coming out. And I landed on him. Front tires came off the ground, and I was able to get back by him on the front stretch. And, there was some door banging, sliding into some walls and getting after it. But no, it was, people are racing out here. They're blocking their line. They're going to block you. They're going to move. They're going to be able to break the draft. You got to know when to stay in the draft when they're breaking it, and got to know when to stay straight to not get less track. And I think it was a good race. I think everyone had a clean, good race, and should be good.
So you hit the tires in turn 1?
Yeah, turn 1 I backed it in.
Okay, so that's where, because I noticed the banner was torn away, and I was wondering who did that. But that didn't. You don't think that caused any issues with your truck? And you just kept going?
It was a soft. Okay, I drove it into 200 wide open at 130, and I'm like, okay, we need some brakes. I was expecting to definitely be edgy out there and see if I could even make it. I thought I was going to the runoff.
Below the corner?
But I was gonna end up hitting the tires or hitting the barriers. And luckily enough, I was able to save that one. And
yeah.
you know, you just got to counter steer that thing, and hopefully it doesn't put it on the bike. But you know, the track was pretty slippery out there, and
oh yeah, especially around the fountain.
Yeah,
it started
around the
getting
fountain, there was some oil on the track. The heat was coming up, and oil was coming up on the racetrack. But no, it was a good race. I want to thank Ibach for the opportunity, Bill Hines for the interview, and Thrillcast. Thank you guys.
And one last question. So what's the plan for tomorrow? And obviously, I think you're going to be starting last, right? And so what's the plan now that you're going to have to really work your way through like 9 competitors, and also knowing that you probably don't need to win the race to get the overall for the weekend. So what's your plan there?
The plan is I like when Brabham and my dad are in front, because I can see where they're going to open up that hole, and I can see how the racetrack's playing out. So starting from the back, I kind of like, because you can kind of control the field from starting from the back. When you're right there, like I started today, 3rd from last, you got 2 fast guys that out-qualified you right behind you. You're going to expect them to use you up, but if you can get through early enough, you can put a car in between you guys, you can kind of play with the car next in front of you. You don't got to worry about what's behind you. So that was the plan there, and tomorrow I think it'll be good, because you know where you started, you know where to make up, and pass 4 cars on the first caution, 3 cars on the next, hopefully be top 3, and game on from there.
Thank you, Max. Always a pleasure. You're the best. Thank you.